guys, back here at the shop. Talked to the lady about the Montana van that is literally going for scrap. She's gonna call up Teen Challenge Farm, and they take donated vehicles, whatever. So it'll end up going there. They'll part it out and send it to the scrapyard, because I know how Team Challenge Farm works, because I used to actually buy their catalytic converters years ago. But yeah, now I have a Honda. So I'm going to go through this Honda because I was asked to look over the whole thing and see what it needs. So I'll give you an idea of what I go through looking over a vehicle to see what it needs, you know, like safety wise and stuff like that. Because his son is visiting, so his son is going to drive this car while he's here for a month or something like that. So I'll take you on a grand tour. Okay, so I have the whole vehicle up on jack stands, right? I've checked the oil. The oil is down. It's black as Toby's. You know what? I topped up the coolant. It was low. Checked the transaxle fluid. It's good. So he's definitely going to need an oil change. The battery is shit. Won't keep a charge or start for me. Okay, so I had to grab my flashlight. So this car sat for a bit. I wish I had something to turn these rotors, but I don't. The pads are like really good. Sorry about that, guys. The pads are really good. Lots of meat on them, but I told him to take it for a drive, quick drive up and down the highway, and that should take care of most of that. If it doesn't, then I'll replace the rotors on it. So I also grabbed my bar. Give me 1 second here. Alright, so I also grabbed my bar while it's off the ground. Give it a rock up and down, just to check for any ball joints or anything like that. And we got no movement, so we're good there. It's also good. Grab the wheel, try for wheel bearings, give her a shake back and forth, check for wheel bearing looseness, tie rod end looseness. It's also good to grab the actual tie rod end itself, and if you can move it easily by hand, you should think about replacing it. Not 100% necessary, but just think about it. Now we'll get under the vehicle. I've already gone over this vehicle, but this is just the basics. So let's head on under. Hopefully you guys got some good views here. So what I'm checking for on Hondas, I just replaced a subframe on a Honda before the Grand Am, and Hondas are really bad for this part of the frame right here. So on Hondas I always check the frame right here, and this one's pretty solid. So he should actually get this vehicle oiled if he wants to save that. Okay, let's head a little further down, look for any holes in the body and the floors. Everything seems to be good. Also check your e-brake cables. Now the rear rotors, they're exact same, but as I said, the vehicle sat for a long time, and so it's got a lot of surface rust. So we'll take it for a trip down the highway, because where my shop is, I'm like right on one of the main drags that head to the highway. So, and check everything underneath, make sure all your linkage is good, like bushing's not too bad. Your sway bar links for the rear, that one's pretty tight. E-brakes are usually good to grab and see if it actually pulls back, which it does, so that's good. check the main components on the frame here. Everything looks pretty good. Alright, sorry about that, guys. Hit the zoom again and tape it down. Yeah, these bushings are a little dry, but they're not cracked, so it's pretty good. Sway bar link back here. It's pretty darn good. Tight. Check this e-brake. Yeah, it moves. That's good. Let's head on over a little bit more. I'll show you something I did. Oops. Show you something I did notice on this. Okay. This is the worst spot for fuel lines. Everything else, right where it curves up. All your brake lines and everything, these are really good. They actually look like they've been replaced. Somebody did it proper. Put a tube around it if you're gonna hold them together, because if metal touches metal, it's just a great spot to start rusting. So, one thing I did notice is fuel line. Got a bunch of fuel line corrosion right there. It's starting to split. You see that? Lots of corrosion. And this little vent tube was actually dislodged from here, but I just put it back on. But yeah, other than that, I went down the line here. Went all the way down. It's not looking too bad. A little bit of grease on these lines. Fuel lines are just starting to split. As you can tell right there. Yeah, other than that, it's in really decent condition. Here's another spot where they like to rust, in behind this plastic shield, because dirt and everything collects in there and then just holds the moisture. He does need a sway bar link. That's gone. That's cheap fix. You know, check your for any oil on your struts to see if they're blown. Ball joints are actually really good. The unfortunate part is they're empty of grease, and there's no grease nipples on these originals, but I did check them. There's no movement, so that's good. There's no movement on the bottom. As you see, the bottom is actually cracked, so that won't be long. Yep, just give it a good once over underneath, you know, like as you've seen on that van. A lot of people look at a vehicle from the outside and say, wow, that's a nice car, and then they just end up in a world of problems. So this one, other than brakes and sway bar link, is pretty darn good to go. I'll mention that fuel line and see what we can do about that. What the heck am I catching on? There we go. Yeah, I'll mention the fuel line and see what he wants to do about that. Grab my hat. The exhaust doesn't leak. It's pretty darn good all the way back. Yeah, I know the lighting sucks. And somebody asked me on Facebook, what's with the beard? Well, it's Movember, right? You're supposed to do a mustache for, you know, like prostate cancer or whatever like that, but I look like a retard with a mustache. So you got to see Blokes, though. Blokes got a mustache that goes all the way across and down. It's funny. So somebody challenged me not to shave for a month, so she's about to get quite bushy, so I can't wait till I shave it. I hate beards. I like my little goatee. Alrighty, cheers, guys. But yeah, I made up a list of what this car needs, and I'm gonna wait till he comes back and see what I want to do from there. All right, cheers, guys. Stay safe.